Hello, welcome to my channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, click the subscribe button down below. Join the family if you're oldie but a goodie. Welcome back to another video, y'all. Today's video, we are doing all the things. We are talking all things, our journey, all things, what we've been through. Get to know me and get to know Aubrey. Yes. So let's just dive right into the video, y'all. My name is Simone. This is Aubrey. Aubrey is 2 years old. I am 26 years old. I am a mom, stay-at-home mom, wife, business owner, content creator. That is me. She is all the things. So yes, y'all, I am on a journey of building my relationship with God and working on my walk with Christ. Yes, that is me. This is Aubrey. Say, I'm Aubrey. How old are you? This is Aubrey. He is 2 years old. He was born with a rare genetic disorder called an encephalocele, which is a sac-like protrusion of the skull. So in layman's terms, that means his brain was protruding out of his head. He had, like right here where my ponytail is, that is where his brain was coming out of his head. The doctors did not think he would make it minutes to seconds, but here we are 2 years later. Don't mind him. He does his own thing, and I just let him. So here we are 2 years later, and he's still here. So let's just dive right in. Aubrey, I found out about Aubrey's diagnosis when I was 12 weeks pregnant. I went to the doctor and to get just a regular ultrasound, and when they did the ultrasound, they obviously found that he had a diagnosis, but they didn't say anything on the first ultrasound. They called me back and told me to come in 2 days later. Went in 2 days later, they did another ultrasound, and that is when they told me Aubrey's diagnosis. But when they told me his diagnosis, they told me the wrong diagnosis. They said he had microencephaly. No, they said he had anencephaly, which is basically like, I believe that's when your child like barely has a brain. So they told me he had anencephaly, and my heart literally shattered, like into pieces, because I didn't know what to expect. That's a very huge diagnosis, and that's a scary thing to hear. So they sent us straight to U of M Ann Arbor, my children's, and they did an ultrasound, and they told us the correct diagnosis. He was diagnosed with an encephalocele, a sac-like protrusion of the skull. So he does have a brain. He just has a hole in the back of his head where part of his brain was coming out. That is his diagnosis. That journey, the process was crazy, because I just still was in complete shock, because yes, it is not the same as the other diagnosis, but it is still very, very, very hard to understand, hard to comprehend. It was just very hard to just know that your child has that diagnosis. Now, we did routine doctor's appointments, routine checkups, back and forth to the doctor, just to make sure that he was growing and that he was doing well. And through pregnancy, he did amazing. I had no complications until the end. I did have preeclampsia. So that's pretty much it. I did have preeclampsia at the end of my pregnancy, and I ended up delivering him like a week early. Now, the delivery story, oh my god, that's gonna be a video in itself, because that was crazy. Now, when we decided on Aubrey, the doctors told us that he would not make it. It was just that simple. He was not going to make it. So we decided on comfort care. If you know what comfort care is, it's when you don't do all the things. You don't take all the measures. You make your child comfortable until passing. So we decided on comfort care, and we had palliative care, and then we left the hospital on hospice. So during our stay in the hospital, we had palliative care, and they did everything. They were amazing. They made us feel comfortable, and we stayed in the hospital for 5 days, and we waited on his passing, you guys. We stayed in the hospital 5 days. Typically when you have a baby, you don't stay that long. You may stay 2 days at the most, and then you're leaving. But we stayed there 5 days, just waiting on his passing and making him comfortable and trying to ensure that he did not have any pain. When our 5 days were up, it was like, okay, like, we basically like, what are we doing? Like, what is next? So we went home on hospice. We went home on hospice. U of M hospice, like, the hospice team was amazing. We left on hospice, and we basically went home, still doing like comfort care. Comfort care had always been the goal. Still doing comfort care, and we just kind of waited on his passing, and he never passed. He never like passed. So eventually his encephalocele started to deteriorate, which means the brain in the sac started to deteriorate, and it started to leave a smell. If you know, like, I mean, I hope you don't know, but the smell of human flesh, dead flesh, skin, it is horrific. And his encephalocele started to deteriorate, and we knew then it was time to go to the hospital. We were not sure of what to expect, but we went to the hospital, and they were like, we are happy that you brought him in when you did, because had you waited another day, he would have died because of how bad his encephalocele started to deteriorate. So he had his surgery to get his encephalocele removed, and that surgery lasted for maybe 2 to 3 hours. 2 hours, I believe, maybe. And he did struggle to come off the ventilator. It took him a while. They thought he would come off sooner, but he did not, which is fine. He eventually came off the ventilator, and everything went smooth. We went home. We had, you know, he was doing good. Everything was fine. We went to our routine checkups. We did all the things to make sure he was fine. He was doing good. He still wanted to live. And I was like all for my baby, like doing his thing. Like, you want to be here? Mommy's going to fight right alongside you. So we went to the hospital. I mean, we did all of our things. And then eventually his eating habits started to slow down. And so at that point, I made sure to let hospice know, like, he's not really taking a bottle like that anymore. He's not really eating, you know, like doing all the things, like his routine, like a couple bottles a day. Like, he wasn't doing that. So they basically was like, prepare yourself. It is time. So, you know, we're back again, preparing ourselves, because it is time. At this point, you need to be ready. He's getting ready to pass. So 7 days he went without eating. Now, you would think like I would rush him into the hospital, but like I said before, our goal was comfort care, palliative care. So 7 days without eating. He went 7 days, and after, like, once it hit like day 3 though, I went to the hospital, and then that's when they said, like, it's time, just go home and, you know, wait it out. So we did. We went home, waited it out. Day 7, he started to eat again. He started to slowly, so I would give him like mLs, like a small ml of milk, and that would hold him over for the day. And then after that, we ended up having to go to the hospital again because his head started to swell. So the reason his head started to swell was because the fluid started to build up on his brain from his encephalocele, which was something that we knew was a possibility because of the encephalocele. The fluid started to build up on his brain, and he had to get a shunt placed inside of his brain. So in the beginning, they weren't able to like place the shunt right away because the lack of nutrients that he had. And because he was not eating, he was not strong enough to go through with surgery. So they had to do another surgery to put the shunt in, but they ran the shunt from here down and it came out of his chest. The tube came out of his chest and it drained the bag so it could be flowed out naturally. So we stayed in the hospital for I believe 2 months. 2 months. So we went in October. We left, or no, it was a month. We left a little bit after Thanksgiving. He went in for a month. They basically was building up his nutrients and getting him ready for his surgery to get his shunt placed. And once his shunt was placed, he had 2 surgeries. One to get the shunt placed to come out of his chest, and then one to get the shunt placed to come inside of it, like to go inside of his body. So once the shunt was placed, and he was up to par and was able to go home, we did go home, y'all. And we had a stretch where we did not go back to the hospital. He was doing amazing. He was doing beautiful. Isn't that right? Yes, he was doing great. And eventually we stayed home for a while, and then he started to have seizures, which is also like something that comes with the diagnosis. So he started to have seizures, and once he started to have seizures, we went back into the hospital, and we had to stay for a while. They put us on the medicine. They put us on some medicine to calm him, like calm the seizures and to stop the seizures. And yeah, y'all, that's his journey. We still do deal with like seizures, and like I know y'all see like him hitting himself. I believe that's like a behavioral issue. Stinky booty, you can't be pulling my clothes out. He does hit himself. He does have some like behavioral issues, but that comes with the diagnosis, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Even though it is very stressful and sometimes it is very hard to deal with, I would not trade it for the world. Aubrey is doing amazing. He loves to clap. He loves to dance. He loves to play. He loves to be held. He wants you to stand him up, and he wants you to like play with his, like do like this. I know I have a lot of people that ask what kind of things does he need. We are working on getting a walker. I do have an Amazon wish list. It is linked in the description box of this video and all of my videos. We also have a small business. It's called Rare Genetics. It is in honor to help spread awareness of his diagnosis, to eventually start a nonprofit. We are working to start a nonprofit to help families that are in the same thing, in the same space, going through the same things that we went through. We just want to be a resource. Be a resource, share a resource. I want to be a resource to other people when, like I needed, when we were going through our journey. So, yeah, y'all. This is us. This is Aubrey. I hope y'all like this video. I can do a Q&A video if you guys would like. Comment down below and let me know. And if you do want to do a Q&A where I can answer some of you guys' questions, you can send all the questions to me on Instagram. Send me a message on Instagram in my DM, and I will add it to a video, you guys. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I know we have new subscribers. I know we have new followers over on YouTube and Instagram. So if you want to see, and Facebook. So just make sure that y'all are staying up to date on all of our socials, because we post a lot. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Booty booty. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Look. Bye. Aubrey, look at mommy. Hi. Say cheese. Now look here. Look, right there. Good job.